project, we got a very solid momentum with the crew. Like, our creative process with the crew became, I don't know, solidified. I feel like this project shows our personality really well, and you know, just all the subject matter is really hilarious. It's really left-handed. It's not your typical type of rap.
It's definitely more cohesive.
Super cohesive
than the last project.
So yeah, all my energy is going to go into promoting that very soon. The release date is to be announced. I'm going to suggest that we do it before March 23rd, because that's when Mercury goes into retrograde, people.
Fucking Mercury's bitch ass! Yeah. I will... Whoa, I can't stand that retrograde shit.
You know, Mercury goes retrograde, y'all just be worried about your communication and your technology. So it's better to get your major drops and plans done before then. And if you can, during retrograde, just enjoy that shit, you know what I mean? Like,
cool, somehow.
When I say enjoy that shit, I mean, spend your time writing and reflecting, and don't take anything personally, because chances are a miscommunication will happen.
Dude, we're live. We got a chain store going live with us right now. Are you guys at Mount Olympus?
No, they're
they're driving. They're in the fucking spaceship right now, dude. Fucking blast off. What up? It's the whole crew, dude. Oh, except M Business missing.
Good to see you guys.
New album.
What's that?
The new album.
Ooh.
He's excited.
Oh yeah? Yeah, dude, it's fucking fire, bro. Blitz did a really good job on it. Like, again, honestly, he did a good job the first time, and then he did even better. Like, I don't even know how he could have done better, but he made it happen.
Dude, it does sound really fresh. It's in a new order this time.
Yeah, the order is a lot better too. Yeah.
Who's Aye Just Boo? Thanks for joining.
That would be Miaja. She's an artist. She's super dope with it. I know she plays guitar, and her pictures are ill on Instagram. Constantly dropping those ill ass pictures. I hope she does. Hope she does an album cover for me someday.
This person over here gave us a good thumbs up in Clovers. I'm digging it, you know. And the Real Princess, thanks for joining us. Oh no, are you joining Chain Store? She's shouting out Chain Store, but she's joining us, so that's what's up, dude. So, yeah.
All right. Well, anything we should do?
I'll let y'all go.
Say what?
Word up.
Y'all go, man.
You guys be good. Thanks for popping in with us, man.
Much love, y'all.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
I love you.
I fucking love you guys too.
It's 27.
I think after this is all done, we should get an apartment together.
Fucking
why the fuck not, dude? Move in right now. Rent will be super cheap, bro. We'll just fucking bunk bed it up in the living room.
About to get cozy.
I call.
Did you say bathtub? When I wrestled in high school, we had to travel sometimes. Whenever we were out of town, there was always a battle to see who could sleep in the bathtub. I'm not sure why, but that was just the thing. Because everybody would fight over the beds. You know what I mean? It was like, oh no, I'll just sleep in the bathtub, dude. It's cool. It's terrible.
All right, y'all.
Later, y'all.
All right, you guys have a good one, man. It's always good seeing you.
Let's see.
Later, bro.
Later. Don't forget to roll a fatty for St. Patty's. That's right.
Fatties for St. Pat. Yeah, that's
Buddy
the type
25
of green.
kitty.
You don't need to wear green. You need to smoke green. Everybody's got it wrong. The real leprechaun spirit is in marijuana, and you need it inside of your lungs or edibles.
Yeah, I don't wear green because the inside of my lungs are green. So that's good enough.
Right, yeah, if anyone pinches you, they're fucking colorblind and not seeing the true inner essence of F's being.
Right. And so fuck them. They're obviously not paying attention. What is going on there? There's like a weird glare on that camera over there. It's pissing me off. Alright, so anyway, we decided that we were going to talk about pets and telepathy. We're going to smoke a bowl while you guys decide what we should talk about first. Pets.
Ooh, we're letting the people decide.
Telepathy. Much love, y'all. You the shit, chain store. You the shit.
True.
Cannabis is life. Turns out you're 75% Irish. Okay. So we're going to start this new thing, telepathic zebras. I knew somebody was going to put in telepath pets. I knew that. It was coming. Awesome. All right. That doesn't help us narrow it down, though, Justin. Gosh. We got 1 vote for telepathy. So while we're taking votes, we're going to be talking about, or we're going to start our new segment that we're introducing called Strain of the Week. Raise your hand if you smoke weed.
Oh shit, we're doing
Now make fun of yourself if you actually raised your hand. So what are we enjoying today here, buddy?
We are about to smoke some Blue Dream. I wish I had like a really big nugget to show everybody. These are tiny little popcorn nugs, you know what I mean? But I grow this-ish. This stuff tested at like 27% THC, which is pretty good. It definitely gets me really high. I'm stoked as fuck that I'm growing it.
Y'all would be scared.
And it's a very strong sativa, so it's good for like honing in on whatever task you're about to focus on, which is what we gonna do. So that's why we smoke.
I like sativa because it puts a little edge on things for me.
Yeah. I think indicas are fantastic if you're like, man, I need to get to bed. I want to watch a movie, relax, and sink into this couch, or I really want to enjoy this meal. But sativas are good for like, fuck, I don't know what to write. I got writer's block, or I really need to focus in on this project that'll take a lot of multitasking, or whatever. It's a lot more of a focuser with the sativas. We in Colorado, I'm sure all you guys know this shit. Preaching to the choir.
But we're trying to reach out to people that might not know this, dude. You got to batterize your phone there.
Yeah, I should
probably
about to
crush,
that.
dude.
I'll get it.
All right, sweet. I was getting nervous there. All right, so Blue Dream. This is one of my favorite strains for sure. I had a grower buddy up north that used to. Oh yeah. I don't know whatever his came out as, but like Citrus said, this is supposed to be at 25. Smells real good, kind of piney. You can definitely catch the fruity fruit in there. Telepathy. Lisa XOXO, that counts as 1 vote, but I will, so you know.
Is there a good place to plug? Something I could unplug?
Yeah, you can unplug this here. You can unplug this, and you can unplug. Oh no, we need that. No, we don't. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And coolish.
I wonder.
All right.
Okay.
Human being and T Blue. Thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for joining. So
gonna be a little bit of a funnier spot because I need to charge it, but
oh, dude, they can look up our nose. All right, first person to spot a bat in the cave and tell us about it, you're gonna get a ticket to Apathy Self-Titled. All right, you guys on Citrus's feed, you guys are on Bat in the Cave detail. All right, nose booger detail. Vanessa's impressed that you have yourself a real phone and not a dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm also impressed. I have mixed feelings about it. The mostly positive feelings because trying to become a famous rapper and gain a following, it is helping a lot. Interacting with the world in general, they expect you to have a phone with a screen and no buttons. But I really miss my phone with buttons, man. I miss being...
Dude, right? You, like on these kind of phones, you have to look at the buttons to type a number.
Dude, calling people, texting people. I don't got the internet on me. I'm not like plugged into the matrix at all time. I have no... I actually get to interact with the world, you know? But this is interacting with the world. I'm just doing it like I get to chill with you guys at home, and this is really cool too. There's definitely a lot of positive aspects to this. I think it's just a matter of finding balance, you know? There are times when I just put the phone away and I read a book. I meditate. I get in my own mind. I give myself some time.
I agree with Lennon Camp, thinking that the flip phones are actually dope because it's kind of like having a switchblade walkie-talkie. Sup, fool? What you doing?
Yeah, dude, I feel dope as fuck when I flip that shit open. And pressing the buttons is just super satisfying too. I don't get the same visceral experience pressing on a computer like a fucking digital screen, you know? Like, I like it when the button actually pushes down and you feel a little click.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, then you know you can move on to the next... to the next button. McNifty and Chris LeSean. Chris LeSean. That's. I'm pretty sure I don't know you, but that last name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I know you. I'm forgetting you right now, and I can't see your picture, but I know you, LeSean.
Refresh us. All right, so we have 2 votes for telepathy. So that's what we're gonna start with.
Okay, makes sense to me.
Cool. Guess what I did this week?
What? Study?
Research. Duh! I researched a little bit about telepathy. All right. I gotta be honest. I only found one talk that was compelling. It was a TED Talk featuring Russell Targ, who apparently had contracts with the CIA for well over 23 years, running the SRI program, and I can't remember what it stands for, but basically they were remote viewers, and they have their what they call, oh damn, there's a word for it. So, they set up experiments, they have control groups, and they have people that are actually doing the experimenting. They're the ones that actually, are doing the remote viewing. And apparently their experimentation group was larger than the aspirin experimentation group, when aspirin was becoming a thing, when they were trying to decide in the 80s or in the 70s, I'm sorry, to have everybody take aspirin for their heart. They studied like 25,000 people, and that study was so compelling that they canceled the rest of the experiment and just gave the control group aspirin, because with the experiment group that was receiving aspirin, their results were so good and so promising that they just immediately put all the other people on the aspirin. They were just like, dude, fuck this experiment. It works. You need it.
Oh, whoa.
Right? It was that good. So with this telepathy thing, they claimed that they had more than 10 times the experimentation than aspirin did, and that they had more than 10 times the good results that aspirin had.
Interesting.
So they went so far as to talking about, they had one particular guy, something Price, who out of 9 guesses, like if they were looking for a human, being somewhere on the planet, he could guess correctly the first time 7 out of 9 times.
Wow.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So then they talked about, let me try this blue drink real quick.
Absolutely. I'll chat for a second. Did I ever? You remember that first rap group I was in? Of course you don't. You weren't there for my first rap group.
Dude, I'm rap dad, dude. I was doing rap work while you were in rap school.
So my homie Itai, shout out to Itai. Me and him were in a group called Third Eye Heretics. And fucking, he told me one time when I was heading over to his crib that he was remote viewing, like he was meditating before I got there, and he was practicing remote viewing, and he like saw my car drive into his neighborhood, because that was as far back out as he reached, and he saw my car drive into his neighborhood from like an overhead view, pull in, and he walked out when I got there.
Okay.
Which, given he could have just heard me pull up and he might have made that shit up. But fucking crazy if he did.
Yeah. So the idea of remote viewing is actually over 1,200 years old. 1,200. They date it back to the time of Buddhism. part of like Buddhist meditation is to be able to view yourself away from your troubles and more and try to view a better, happier place that you could be. So, you know, you don't have to actually move your body or anything like that, but it's the idea, you know, that you can envision and absorb and capture details of a time and a place that you have never been, just by being in tune with it. So they actually, there's another interesting story that this Russell Targ, and this was on a TED Talk. You can check it out if you guys are so compelled. He was talking about there was an experiment where an Army colonel went to a pool complex. So they had picked it at random, a group of guys, whatever it is, throwing darts at a map or something, and decided to go to this pool complex. Hung out for a little while another man was in a shielded room, you know, on the military base doing these experiments, and he described this pool complex super accurately to within 90% accuracy of the dimensions of the pools and things like that. Okay, so about, I don't know, whatever it is, a week later, they go to view the pool together to, you know, see how well he did. And he described, so when in his description of the pool, he was about 50% of what he described was actually there at this pool complex. He also described a water treatment plant and these huge giant water tanks that were not there. A few weeks later, a person who had heard about this experiment, who worked for the city of, this was in California, I can't remember, but whoever worked for the city there had heard about this experiment and sent maps from 75 years prior, from before this remote viewer was even born. This pool complex was in fact a water treatment plant with 2 gigantic water tanks on it. And they would have been in the area of, if they still stood, they would have been in the area that the guy described.
Whoa.
So he not only was able to describe this place where he had never been super accurately, but he was also able to describe how it was 75 years ago.
That's crazy.
It was after that experiment, that the CIA actually got very interested in the remote viewing and actually hired these guys to a contract. Before that, they were working out of Berkeley. Another interesting thing is Patty Hearst, the $1 million heiress that was kidnapped, I think in 76 or something like that. And she ended up becoming a gorilla for, you know, to save her life or whatever. When she was kidnapped, the police had exhausted all of their leads, and they actually contacted Russell Targ and his group to see if they could have a remote viewer find out where Patty Hearst was. So the guy comes along, and he couldn't tell him. He told him he knew who the kidnapper was, and they ended up catching the kidnapper 2 weeks later, and he knew where the kidnapped vehicle was, and they found it. And it had, you know, all the fingerprints, shell casings, and everything. So, so apparently, for 23 plus years, the U.S. government has been paying various agencies to study telepathy, ESP, psychic, remote viewing. NASA studies this. And you guys would be very surprised to find out that it's not called parapsychology anymore. It's remote viewing, and it's not run by psychologists or quacks. It's run by physicists.
Whoa.
Everybody involved with it, nuclear physicists, laser physicists, astrophysicists,
Christ.
like, and the reasoning is because there's a lot of things in physics, like quantum entanglement and some experiments that Schrodinger had worked around with. And none of the research really went into any detail about these things. I didn't have time to, you know, understand why these people would be so interested in it. But, you know, it's just very compelling. This one talk alone is what makes me believe that there might be something to it. And according to Russell Targ, it's not a sacred thing. It's not even special.
Right.
Everybody can do it.
Totally. I mean, yeah, this was fucking crazy. I mean, I've been around psychics my entire life, and it's arguable that some of them fake parts of it.
I think the physicists just got misspelling wrong when they were applying for college. Psychics.
Psychic physics. Oh. Psychicist. But I mean, it's just wild to me because I've grown up around it, and growing up around it, I would talk about it to other kids like it was a normal thing. And other kids would be like, you're fucking crazy, bro. Nobody's fucking telepathic. You're fucking retarded. You don't know what the shit you're talking about. Get in the real world, you know what I mean? And evidently, politicians and physicists who are more knowledgeable about the real world than we are studying this fucking shit.
Yes. I mean, what were we talking about last week? We were talking about this idea of the collective and morphic resonance.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're... I think they're the same.
Yeah.
You know, I think the psychics are able to tap in to this morphic resonance. And okay, so part of the thing, like Russell Targ was saying, when he was a kid, he was like just a kid magician, and that he was just doing trickery. You know what I mean? There was nothing real to it. But there were occasions when he said he just had a feeling, just had like a premonition, and would say something, and it would be 100% accurate, and you know, it would razzle and dazzle everybody, and it was not part of the act.
For
right?
sure.
So that's how he got interested into the psychic part of things.
Have you ever had moments like that?
So what I've had, and I don't know that it's really. No, I've never been able to predict anything that I know of. What I do notice is, for a while when I was watching TV back in the day, it seemed like whatever happened to me during the day or during that week would end up on one of the TV shows that I watched at night. You know what I mean? So like, if on Monday, you know, I was running late to work and some silly folly occurred because of that, then, you know, that night or the next night, King of the Hill would be about, you know, somebody running late to work and all that shit.
Synchronicities.
Yeah, synchronicities like that. There have been times when, you know, I've been in the studio working and come up with an idea, and a week or so later hear something very similar already on the radio, and, you know, you get a lot of, like, if I was a crazy old man at the bus stop drinking a bottle of OE, I would totally say, "Hey, that bugs in my studio, and they were stealing my sounds right out of my mind, and became famous off of my work." But what I realize is that, you know, people have good ideas, and if, you know, more than one person can have the same good idea.
Right. Well, your your thoughts are literally like radio waves that come off of you, and they intersect with other people, and there is like a cloud of thought that's probably going on. There is a collective consciousness that we're all probably involved in, and like you see it all the time, the 100th monkey effect, you know. As soon as like the 100th monkey figures it out, monkeys across other islands figure it out. You know that whole thing. Like the collective consciousness picks up on the information because now it's literally in the air because so many people know it.
Interesting. Okay, so what's interesting about that is, according to Russell Targ's experiments and research, the more you try to hide something, the more brightly it shines in psychic space. Whoa! Think about that for a minute. So Lisa XOXO earlier said psyops. That's a fancy term. However, in the military today, that means psychological operations, and that has to do more with dropping flyers and leaflets and, you know, distributing food and paying people to rat. You know,
like dude, what a cool name for such a lame fucking...
I know, right? Well, I mean, how else are you going to get funding? Hey, let's do our flyer brigade.
Flyer brigade. Send the flyer brigade.
Litter them with confetti. Informational confetti. But... I do think, yeah, the government does definitely want to keep it under wraps. Mostly, I think, because they don't want to look foolish.
Right.
Or they don't want us to think it's real and try it out, you know?
I think it's a little of both. I think it's a little of both, because having so much of my community growing up around me not believe in it very strongly, almost look down on people that do believe in it. If, like, let's say someone's running for president and they were just, like, open and honest about that shit, like, yeah, we actually study telepathy all the time, and, you know, I believe in it for sure. I've seen it work. If a politician said those things, probably not going to work. He's probably not going to become president.
Lose a lot of credibility.
Going to lose a lot, which is unfortunate because I'd vote for the motherfucker.
Right. Right. So there was actually a time when one of the remote viewers, and I totally don't remember the year. I want to say it was in the 80s. But there was a remote viewer that described a super top secret military installation in Virginia so accurately that there was a congressional investigation to look for a leak in the military for many months. And then when it was done, they gave Russell Targ and his group the go-ahead to keep doing what you're doing and say, okay.
That's crazy.
Sick, right?
Okay, how about this? So, super powerful telepath who can, like, do things so snap of the fingers readily that he'll prove it to the biggest non-believer runs for president. Would he get into office? I think he might, you know? People might think there's, like, witchcraft going on or some shit. They might be really uncomfortable, but I don't know. If somebody doubted him and he could just be, like, quoting things about his childhood or something just to, like, prove him wrong.
Dang. See, so
I'd be like, damn, dude, Jesus is running for president. Like,
that would be pretty intense. Oh my god. I don't know. I couldn't vote for that guy.
Because Jesus, of course, is telepathic.
He definitely knows what you've been doing. Santa Claus is telepathic, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
He's definitely got that
Has to
ESP. Extra Santa perception. So, I don't know, it's pretty interesting. They didn't make it sound like there's a lot of reading minds or putting thoughts into people's heads, or it's really just about finding stuff. Apparently, you can, you know, use it to find your wallet, or, you know, he even wrote a book about how to use telepathy to predict. During the 80s, in 1984, they were able to predict. They were able to predict the trajectory of silver in the market.
Interesting.
And like 100% accurately the whole way. It was pretty insane.
Who is they?
Russell Targ and his associates, whoever.
Oh, okay.
You know, just a bunch of different physicists and telepaths.
Right. So people that wouldn't have anything to do with the silver.
Right. Apparently, they, as a group, made $120,000 though. I see that dreams are coming up about having found lost items in a dream, and somebody else had said that, you know, sometimes they have some dreams that are very telling, and that's the closest they've gotten to telepathy. One night I had a dream that I was in a Jeep cruising through the desert, lots of crazy shit going on, and eventually we find the body, me and some guy, I don't know who it is, find the body of a burnt baby crying, and it's like still crying, you know, and still feels like warm to the touch. We're like, oh my gosh. And in the morning, my brother called and told me my nephew was born. So I don't know if that counts. It's just kind of weird.
I mean, I think telepathy is a rather specific, because there's all these different types of psychic abilities. There's like clairvoyance and clairaudience and empathy. I think people think of like being an empath is considered a psychic ability. Which,
okay. Oh, when you're like can feed on other people's energy.
Okay. This one actually I wanted to bring up because I've had psychics tell me that I'm an empath, and I think that's cheap now that I'm older and less gullible. Well, maybe it's true. Maybe I'm just being skeptical, but regardless, I am skeptical, and it sounds like a natural human thing to me. And an empath, like basically I can feel your emotions as if they are my own. If you come in and you're super pissed off, I feel that as if it's
bristle.
You know, I get the same thing. It's like there wasn't a cause for it besides the fact that you were now in my presence and I picked up on it, you know?
I think there are definite levels or tiers to how powerful that is among people.
Right. Well, I think there's control over it, you know? I mean, I think it's something everyone can do and there's control over it. Because, like, it'll happen to me pretty often if I'm not watching it, but sometimes I don't want to pick up on anybody's anger. So I just choose,
nothing wrong with that.
I just choose not to, and then the empath thing doesn't happen.
Okay.
So it's like, is that a psychic ability, or is that just my own emotions reacting to the situation? Or, you know, it's one of those things. It's really hard to say that would be.
I'd love to have Danny on to talk about this. Yeah. If you guys remember the homie Danny Tinker, he was on one time talking with us. But because, well, I totally forgot what I was going to say. It'd be great to ask his mind what he thinks. Because, okay, that's why. Because one time we were hanging out at a pretty shitty side of town. And hanging out with some pretty shitty people. They were very creepy.
I remember this.
We were buying doses.
I wasn't there, but I remember when they came in.
The house was fucking dirty. Mad dirty. Like they had spilled ashtrays and shit and not cleaned that shit up. Like that's how it looked. You know what I'm saying? And it was a small apartment. I didn't walk around, so I don't know how many bedrooms there were, but it was not a big apartment, and there was like 20 motherfuckers in there, dude. Dude had like sex toys hanging up on the wall, you know, like whips and paddles and all that shit, you know, ball gags or whatever, and his room was all cluttered. He had Bibles and pretty sure he had a Quran. Lots of weird stuff. He had tattoo on his cheek, his eye. He was claiming to be an ex-gangster, this, that, and the other thing, but now he has this cult. And it's a legitimate church, I guess, that they can all avoid paying taxes or something. Every single one of them had a tattoo of a star. I think it was a star, you know, by their thumb. They were all, like, super proud of it and shit. He had these two chicks just sitting on the bed, just like... Man, it just gave me an awful feeling. And all I could think of was, I don't know about Danny, but I will jump out that fucking window and get the fuck out of here if shit goes crazy. I will stab a motherfucker with that knife on his desk, and then I'm going out that window, and these bitches can chase me. Some juggalo guy walks in and starts talking about, you know, so boss, you know, where should I go stick a motherfucker? Like, he was asking for advice about where to do a stick up and shit.
Wow.
Some dude comes in talking about how he had taken a vial of Sid in his butthole, you know, earlier that week, and so I started trying to mess with him. He was all right with it. The point is, it was wretch. I'll never go back. That was off, right? Awful. So the whole ride home, though, Danny's like creeping out, man, like. Talking like he feels slimy, and dude, we have to go get you know, Stace. I guess Stace is a healer or something is what Danny was saying. So when we got home, you know, Stace did like some chanting or whatever over his head, and it made him feel better. And then said, "Yeah, you know, you didn't get any." He was telling me, I was like, "Yeah, I know."
You didn't get any.
Yeah, whatever the demons or young pyramid.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Because I bet you Danny probably did pick up on some gross shit, you know, and you just, like, observed the gross shit, you know?
Okay.
Almost like he stepped in the dog poop and you did it.
Stinky Tinker. I'm going to call him Tinker from now on.
But at the same time, who knows what the fuck we're talking. I'm sure, like, Stacy, I believe he has, I believe he's tapped into something that I'm not personally and that other people aren't, but I don't necessarily trust his experience. Like, I only trust my own experience. And there's a very specific reason for that, because I used to have dreams with a person. I used to share a dream space, and in that dream space, I would not
like lucid dreaming. Because I've
The
heard
parts
of
I
this.
remember were partially lucid, but literally me and him would be together in different scenarios. One time we were in a studio that was like the studio we have at home, but it was like flying through space, and we were literally working on songs that were the same songs in the waking life, and we
Weird.
were altering them there. Yeah, we met in corridors, like giant Illuminati corridors. This is why the Illuminati thing seemed real to me, because I literally experienced dreams where I was in these mansions with all this Illuminati symbolism all over, and it's like, this is how we keep it secret, this is how we do it, which is pretty fucking gnarly. Is like, definitely makes me think something's going on. No normal person would know how to like manipulate a person to do that. Maybe he didn't actually share a dream space with me. He just suggested it enough times that I saw myself in dreams with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really know. I don't have the answers, but this was the experiences I was having, and I didn't remember large parts of it, so he would fill in those blanks for me. Now, he just had no good intentions for me, and I didn't know that. So when it comes to like experience, if someone starts telling you about past lives and shit, people, like, I'm not saying they're telling you bullshit. There's probably a reason you're hearing it, but only trust your own experience. Like, if you do a past life recall and you see yourself in a past life, weigh it out then, because once you come out of that, like I've done it before, I think to myself, well, my mind could have made that up, or I could have really lived that.
Dude, that's like one of the lyrics in I Wish. Fuck the dumb shit, fuck what you heard, trust what you know.
Trust what you know. Straight the fuck up, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh man, I totally thought there was something I was going off of when I was explaining why I trust my own experience.
Well, I mean, because your experience is your reality. I mean, that's
right, but there was like a connection to, well, whatever.
I'm a good interrupter, dude. You get yourself on a run and I will fucking... That's why teachers hated me in high school, man. Just because, there they are just pumping away at some education, and I'm just, making fun of everything, and damn it! And you know when they lose their train of thought, it's because that was good. That was fucking good. I did that. You're welcome, class. Fucking welcome. Hell yeah. But I did not find anything about, moving objects with your mind. I did see a very awesome video. If somebody can find it and send it to me, it'd be great. Oh my god, my battery's gonna die.
Oh!
The video of the guy trying to use a force field to stop a punch, and he's all, whoa, and then the guy punches him again a second time, and then he goes for a third, and the guy's like trying to really block. It's so funny, dude. It was
That's
like
hilarious.
Golly, you would think if the experiment failed the first time that but he went for a second jab, dude, right to the fucker's nose.
Like, that felt good. I'm gonna punch him again.
You show how we do.
This guy just gave me a chance to keep punching him.
Yeah, he's not even defending himself. Fucking idiot.
I remember what I was going about before. So, because we were talking about Stacy, and really, like, there's multiple psychics in my life that I believe that they are psychic.
Okay.
I believe that they have abilities, because
they have the power.
Like when Kyle met me, this dude told me stuff about me that I hadn't told anybody. And it was like
his brother?
Yeah, it was like our first weekend hanging out in high school.
Shit.
But there are also things he like said with confidence, like it was true, and it was like the opposite. It wasn't true. And so because of this, it's like I take it all with a grain of salt. Like, sometimes he knows exactly what he's talking about and he's tapped in. Sometimes he just thought he was tapped in.
Just BSing.
Right. And both him and Stacy could have become more developed over time, and maybe they're 100% accurate now. I don't know. I don't have the answers to that.
Right. You're not a fucking telepath.
I'm not a fucking telepath.
How the hell would I know?
But
dude, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
Yeah, I found a big object to like lay on the cord.
Boom.
It has to be heavy. Maybe you want them coins.
No, look at.
Oh, you get it?
Oh,
dude, innovative as.
Oh,
I'm gonna
dude.
use my phone to show how innovative we are.
Dude, this
Look at
is.
that.
I'm a facilities services technician.
You probably can't tell what's going on. It's probably all
problem
confusing.
solver. Yeah. So what I have is this. My battery was dying. Okay. I didn't want to lose my people over here on my Insta. Okay. So I found me a little spittoon with handles here. Okay. And I got this thing set it up in there and the spittoon in the handle, and it's balanced just fucking perfect. It's like, okay. That's my that's the accent I use at work when I'm really impressed with the job I've done. Boss, you gotta come check this out, okay? What we got here, okay, is a magnificent, and I mean magnifico drywall job, right? That's how we get down.
Where should I leave it? I'm not sure. How about right? I guess I'll just leave it right there. I was trying to get both of us in the frame all nicely, but
so
whatever. This one's the challenger. We look perfect over here and over here.
Yeah, we just need to remember to charge our phones better.
Yep.
You know, for these things. So, you know, I do. So, if you had telepathy, if you had ESP, what would you do with it?
Okay, so let's define this real quick. I get to just see exactly what you're thinking, like the voice that's going on inside of your head. I get to just hear it. Is that how that works?
Sure.
Oh wow.
Sure.
How would I use that?
Would life be better if you had that power?
Yes, it's tough. Okay, here's what I think would happen is I would quickly discover that, well, I already know this. I think that I don't know it because I can't read other people's minds, but I'm almost certain that all of us are really judgmental. We're probably way more judgmental than we let on to be because I have like this brain filter. When I think terrible things, I won't say it out loud because I'm able to decipher that
because you're an adult.
I'm an adult. That's not a good choice. A lot of times, it's not how I genuinely feel. It's just like my brain's reaction in the moment, you know?
Right. Okay.
So if I have the ability to like see all of that, I'm probably gonna be real upset with people at first. I'm probably gonna be like, God damn, these people are fucking judgmental as shit.
Hater-ass fakers.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I suppose like if I'm the only one who can do it, it would be really nice to like know what other people are planning and know if people like, oh, you have bad intentions for me, I'm out. You know, like I would know what business transactions not to do. That sounds super useful. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of speechless. Like I feel like, yeah, I would probably just try to use it to my advantage very sparingly.
Camp makes a really good point. If you could control it, it would be the bomb. What was it? I think Jean Grey's, the X-Men, her problem was that she couldn't turn it off and she could always hear everybody's thoughts.
Right, that would be a bitch.
Yeah.
That fuck is... I
don't know, man.
See, and that's the thing, is like, the morals come into it. Like, let's say I can read your thoughts on command if I want to. You're my homie. I don't know if you want me in your head, you know?
You don't want to be in there.
But that's like invasive, right?
Yeah,
like if I was like hearing what you were thinking inside your head and you didn't even know about it, and you find out somehow later, that's like, it's weird, right? It's like finding out I looked through your shit, or
weird,
you know?
Ooh, that is very strange. Okay.
So I would have to do it to like people I'm doing business transactions with, and shit like that. Basically, people I don't trust.
Okay.
It's mainly what I'd probably use it for.
And would you only stick to the business at hand? Like, would you pry the business guy's mind only as far as this transaction is concerned, or would you want to see, you know, how has he been in the past, or what are other things that he's planning? Like, you know, like if. You know, like let's say like a Robbie Weinstein, you know?
You can like dig into memory banks, you're saying?
Oh, what if? You know, like, unbreakable.
See, if I could do that shit, I feel like I would both do it for situations where I don't trust the dude to, like, see if, you know, there's dirt in his past. Or if he's recollected from his dirt.
You gotta do that. You gotta restart your video.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Fucking videos.
Oh, no.
Videos dying.
So I was talking about... What was I talking about a second ago?
Man, whenever you say that, it makes me forget. So you were talking about, you know, being able, if you could look into somebody's past.
Right. So I would definitely dig into people's past if I don't trust them. And then once again, the morals would come into play. I wouldn't dig into your past unless you were like, hey, man, there's pieces of my life I'm missing. I'd like you to dive in there and look at them for me. Tell me about it, you know? And like, then I can help people. I'd love to do that. That sounds dope as fuck.
Renee is lit. Yeah, that would be pretty dope. That would be dope. I think I would steal ideas. Straight up, dude. I would be the super villain that steals everybody's ideas and runs with them. Like, oh, that'll make a lot of money. I'm going to do that. Oh, what a killer hook. I'm using it. But when I steal them, I would leave in place a fucking panda bear just going like this.
Oh, like you can take their thought form and
replace it. I don't replace it with something. Yeah. That's what my power would be.
Like they had a genius idea, but in their mind, the only thing that happened is they just saw a dancing panda.
Yeah. Panda just fucking get down.
They're just like, yeah, pandas are sweet.
Oh yeah, super villains. Or weed? Oh, replace their thoughts with weed? I get what you're saying. Well, weed does that already. Weed has that superpower. I need not be involved.
All right, I think we've hit this topic pretty well. I think we should move on to the next.
We should do our dab of the week.
What? I'll go grab the torch.
Grab the torch. Okay. So this dab of the week is GG number 4. It's fucking... No, that's not right. Does this really say 639% THC? No, 639 milligrams. But double check this. Does that not say 639%?
639%? Yeah, that's what it says.
What? GG4! You know what you know about that GG4 Linen Camp? What you know about that? I love the way this stuff smells. I love the way it tastes. Makes me cough. It's very sharp. Very citrusy.
What strain is it?
GG4.
Oh, Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla Glue! I should have known! God damn it, Gorilla Glue rocks.
Hell yeah.
I love that shit. Hey, don't let the tips touch. Don't cross the streams. Next level. That's right. We about to get to the next level. Yeah. So, I hope you guys are getting some of your pet stories ready, because as soon as we're done with this, we're going to start talking about pets. Ooh. And it's actually pretty interesting. I want to hear stories about, you know, the coolest stuff you've done with your pets, and even some of this psychic stuff and morphic resonance relates to pets a little bit, and I'll kind of tie that in with for you. But then we also definitely want to talk about the ethics of pet ownership. You know, I'm an avid. I'm an avid turtle collector. I got lots of turtles and tortoises. And you know, and we got a dog at home, and I used to work at an apartment complex, and I saw a lot of pets in these apartment complexes, and I just have a lot of ideas and thoughts about it, and I want to hear what you guys think.
Dude.
Peace out, Lady Kim.
Have a good night, man. It's good seeing you, man.
That was a dude?
Fucking... I don't think you ever met Lennon Cam, but he has super dope freestyle. He's one of the first guys I met when I came out here. So Remy, you met him.
Yeah, what's up? Oh, he's not watching. What up, Remy?
Remy was friends with Lennon Camp. They both come from, oh God, why am I forgetting the name right now? They both come from the East Coast, Baltimore.
Balti.
Yeah. And yeah, man, that's the fucking homie.
Cool.
I've been rapping with him for a minute. I love that dude.
Cool, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I hope we can get him through the studio sometime, or
Yeah, I think he's actually back in Balti right now.
Oh.
He was in Delaware last time he hit me up, but I don't know if he's living there or not.
Well, I mean, any excuse to get to the East Coast, Let's cut it. Oh, he's not on. I keep trying to talk to him. He's not even there.
He was talking about coming out.
That's cool. That's what's up. Yeah. That's what's up. So...
Petty pets.
Pets. All right. So, I don't know. I prefer exotic animals just because they creep people out, and I love to see people get creeped out. I love the fact that they're... I like underground rap. I like things that other people don't like. And I just kind of get off on that, feeling esoteric.
Sure. Absolutely.
But I do like dogs. I don't like little dogs. I don't get the point.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
There are little dogs that I have enjoyed. In general, they bark too much. They're not as smart. They're just like big dogs. Huge dogs are perfect for apartments. They don't want to run around outside and shit. They just want to lay around and snuggle, man.
Like a mastiff.
Like a mastiff, exactly. So
Basset hound.
Yeah, and I feel like they're just easier to train. They're more loving and calmer.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because my argument would be breeding a dog that big is cruel because look at it. It's so big it cannot muster the energy to move the fuck around. It's
right.
Just get away here.
Yeah. It's kind of fucked up that we breed
bulldogs.
Okay, imagine if an alien race took the same approach to us. For real though.
Dude.
We could have huge lanky humans that die at fucking 18 years old because they're not meant to be that fucking big.
Uh-huh.
And their limbs often break and they're real brittle and they strain a lot and shit. Who knows? There could be a list of bad problems. Same with tiny people or weird shaped heads. They just choose certain qualities because they think it's fucking cute.
Dude, that's okay. So I think that's how we ended up with races among men. Is not so much aliens coming down, but Trey was actually telling me this. It was pretty interesting. He learned it in sociology or something that as people started migrating out of Africa and you're in a little band of 60 people, your options of girlfriends are gonna kind of run out, and you're gonna kind of hook up with your cousin maybe, and later on down the line somebody's gonna get with somebody's second cousin, and it's just. Really, there's not enough options for you not to, right? So there is a level of inbreeding that surely happened in the creation of races, and as you're stuck with just that one group of people, those are the traits that you are used to. So those are the traits that you like, those physical traits that, whatever tagged along, and you keep breeding amongst yourselves. Okay. And that. As you expand and, you find a place that is full of resources and you can proliferate, then, you start having more people in the gene pool and more people migrate to you and start filling in your gene pool some more. And that's how your country expands and takes on, different racial traits. At least that's the way I understood it. I don't know. That's
interesting.
So, yeah, I don't know, but we did not go to the extremes of, pugs.
Right. We're not breeding with each other because we're trying to achieve certain qualities as much as like we like this person and we're like making the personal choices. There was a bit of that with slavery. We definitely like bred the strongest of the strong because we wanted harder workers and shit.
Not only that, but there was a serious attempt in, I believe it was the late 1800s, to breed out Indians, Native Americans in America. And that eventually led to the Indian Child Welfare Act of the 70s, which was to prevent Indian children from being adopted into non-Indian families.
For sure.
Which that would be a great topic to discuss another time. We could get really deep on that. So, you know, but more than that, I mean, just the idea of pet ownership, right? So, a scorpion. I understand, like, I can make excuses all day to protect myself, but, you know, a scorpion's, unless it's mating season, does not really move around very much in the wild. It just it doesn't need to. A scorpion could live on, you know, a meal every 2 weeks. So it can literally just sit around and wait for something to come along. Oh, got it. Eat it. When it's time to bound, he's got to go on a journey. Well, if you can eliminate that journey for him by just, you know, providing the female.
Dude, how many fucking baby scorpions come out of a mom?
Between 12 and 60. And they're oviviparous, which means that the eggs hatch inside the mother and live young crawl out right on the top, and in some species eat a secretion that comes from her back.
What the fuck?
Is that not mammal-like?
That's fucking crazy.
What? What? Fucking scorpions. That's what, dude. Scorpions are the shit, dude.
I think that owning a pet might be immoral, and you know, with certain pets, I look at them, I'm like, your life is so good, but at the same time, part of me thinks maybe dogs would have been better off if we just never touched them and they stayed wolves, or we only used them for hunting because that seemed like a very symbiotic relationship, but we didn't like try to breed certain qualities, and like we didn't try to like control them. Basically, we just had a friendship with them. And yeah, like keeping a scorpion in a cage probably wants to fuck sometimes, you know. If you feed it, that's, you know, you're only giving it a small portion of what its full life potential could be. But
the amount of times that they fuck in the wild are super slim. Like you can supplement that. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of predict what kind of season it's in, and you can kind of control it with its light and its humidity, and introduce the female.
Well, let's say you let it fuck though. Do you have to take care of those baby scorpions, or what, do you just throw the female out? What do you do?
No, then you put her in a separate cage, and she goes about her business the same as she always would. And then when those, after about 1 to 2 weeks, when those babies are big enough to leave, they will leave, and then you better have a really good cage that they can't get out of, because they're pretty small and they're good climbers at that point. And God. Then you just got to catch those and put them in separate cages, because they will eat each other if their times get lean. Separate them out, keep them fed, and then you can make, like, you know,
and then you have
$25 a piece. Yeah. Shit.
That's fucking crazy. I wonder how many people do that, and I wonder, like, what the likelihood of getting stung is. Like, how many stings does a scorpion breeder go through?
So it depends on what kind of scorpions you're messing around with. Okay. I mean, emperor scorpions and ones like that are not likely to sting you.
Oh, wow.
They'll try to pinch you, you know. But, you know, like Egyptian flat scorpions, you know, I wouldn't.
Are those like the killers?
Dude, and they're fast, and that's their go-to thing, and they go, and you can see their little, it's all, if you know, if they don't get you, they
look for you.
Yeah, Yeah, dude, it's it's like it's scary, dude. Oh, God.
Okay, so I suppose it could be moral.
So tarantulas, same thing.
Could be moral.
Those arthropod sort of critters are good, like arachnids, because arachnids just they expend too much energy. They don't manage their energy well, so they like to stay just chilling. Okay. And you can have spiders that spin webs. Where are they gonna go? Right fucking there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And then some frogs. There's a lot of frogs that burrow. They don't really go anywhere, so you can keep them in a little small area as long as you supplement them for breeding.
Okay.
I do worry about my turtles, particularly the tortoises. We have Russian tortoises. They burrow for much of the year. And they may very well have just burrowed their fucking way out. Like, they may be gone. I have no idea where they are. They're just whatever. But like desert tortoises, we had one.
I tripped over one time.
They're huge, right?
Yeah. I thought it was a rock because it was like dusk.
Yeah.
I straight up tripped over a fucking turtle.
Fucking shit. That's insane. It probably just.
It just started walking. Something's going on now.
Right. Got a mosey. Dude, they're incredible. But like desert tortoises, they have a really wide range. They just fucking wander. Now, they're encouraged, people are encouraged to keep them as pets now. It used to be illegal, like don't fucking touch them unless you're moving them out of the street. Now they encourage people to adopt them from the Desert Museum and keep them as pets. And that's because if they're released in the wild, they could get hit by a car, trying to cross a highway or something. And that's, Yeah,
my stepdad's witnessed that before.
Yeah? Now see, that would definitely be sad. I mean,
that'd be super sad.
When it's that big, it's, 30, 40, 50 years old,
Ugh.
And that's, it has seen and done a lot of, well, I don't know if it's done a lot, walked around, but it has seen a lot of shit, It's seen some shit.
Sure.
And that brings me to my buddy, Dizzle. His old lady, bless her heart, lost a cat recently, and it was, the way I understood it, they had let it out, and something happened to it while it was out. And I was under the impression that it got younged up by something,
Yeah.
And, they were, obviously they felt bad and stuff, but somebody went and told her, shame on you. Would you let your children just walk around in the city by themselves?
Oh my God.
Fuck yeah, because I raised my children to be able to take fucking care of themselves.
Yeah, dude, for real. I was walking around the city by myself when I was pretty young.
Yeah, well, when I was in 6th grade, I could ride the city bus.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So, what up, David? Bookie!
Hey,
wow. How's it going, y'all? Dude, you look good, bro.
Yeah, he looks slick as fuck. Dude, he's got the same glasses as me.
Huh? You can barely hear us?
But I can barely hear you guys.
I will talk louder.
I wanted to say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Boogie MC. Boogly, boogly, boogly. Hell
I
yeah,
just wanted
dude.
to show you that my mustache is starting to grow, and it's almost just as kick-ass as your mustache.
Dude, it's pretty fucking full.
Pretty kick-ass
curly,
mustache.
dude. Yeah, man. Your beard totally kicks the shit out of my beard, though. Faux show. And I don't admit that to just anybody, dude. I have all this gray coming in. We Pimp Clothing! What up?
What up?
I heard that most of the time. I remember mate with someone of similar qualities or physical attributes. Ooh. That's interesting. I don't know. So anyway, back to the pets thing. So, when I think of a cat, right? And like in the wild, you know, like a bobcat has like a 25-mile range. You know what I'm saying? Like a huge fucking range. You know, a house cat is maybe, you know, a third that size, right? But, you know, we confine it to a house, right? Imagine being confined to a house that's like just huge. It's a huge house, but you're still stuck in it. You can't go anywhere. You can't get real sunlight, you know? You can't feel the breeze. You can't you can hear those birds when the windows are open, you know? You can smell all this cool stuff, but, you know?
Right. Yeah. All of the things that would fulfill you are like on the outside of this world you're trapped in.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if owning cats is moral. As part of me, I just don't know. I feel like they do become attached to their people and they love their people. Like they just sort of like, they look pretty relaxed. They look like they get a lot of pets and they get all
some cats are totally living it up. Some dogs are totally killing it.
Right.
They have
Dogs
totally
that
adapted.
are always smiling, but could they be thriving more? Would they be more fulfilled without that? We can't like talk to them about it.
Right. Like when I worked at the apartments as a maintenance guy, there was one family that had a pit bull. I don't know, maybe 8 months old. You know, pretty tall already, and you know, nice, beautiful. But it was stuck out on their little balcony, which was smaller than this room. Damn, I mean, it was like the balcony was like twice the size of this table, dude. For like, you know, 10 hours a day, this thing is out there. Just every little sound. Look around. Damn, man, I just felt so bad. You know, and like when you're training a dog, man, I don't know, dude. Just some of those things. I feel so bad for that dog. Like somebody let him out, dude.
Right.
And then when the family comes home, you think they took him for a walk? Nah, it was like, you know, homework and, you know, make dinner and get ready for bed and watch TV time, you know? And like weekends, I don't know what they did on weekends because I didn't work then, so.
Right.
But yeah, that was, you know, kind of wretched to see.
I have my questions, but what I want to know.
Dogs need to let their energy out. It is not fair. I agree. You could just hear it in the way that dog just, when things went by, give a little, you know, not really a bark, because he's not gonna say, "Hey guys, come on." Oh, I can't play. My bad. So he's just, you know, what's guys? Damn it. You know.
So how have pets impacted your life?
So, man, all right, so the biggest was when I was in junior high. I think it was like in 8th grade, and my mom wanted to get a dog. And so she heard about somebody having Dockers, which is a Cocker Spaniel Dachshund mix. And so we all went as a family, minus my brother, because he didn't live with us. I think he was still in college, maybe. And so we all went to the house, whatever, to look at Missy, right? A little ball of fun, right? And out walks, you know, what's supposed to be the run to the litter, and they were like trying to hide him and stuff. And he comes over, and this was Cisco, right? Well, they didn't have names yet, but he comes over, and my mom just kind of melted, and I knew it, like I could just see it, right? Just melted, right? But, no, I'm sorry. My mom didn't melt. My mom didn't melt at all. She was just focused on the one dog. But my dad was petting the little one and looked over at, and like my mom said, "Oh, I wish I could get both. I wish I could get both." And then my dad kind of looks up with the dumbest look he has ever had. "Well, I don't know, Carla. You think we should get them both?" Me and Manny, my sister, were, what did he just? So we got them both, right? And so then, like, my dad, you know, would save pieces of his meal Like, what? See, I do that too. I save pieces of my meal, like the very best pieces, for my last best bite. Right?
Sure, yeah.
He saves that shit for the dogs.
That's wild.
Right? It makes them do little tricks and stuff. Little bullshit tricks like stand up and spin around and, you know.
Right.
It's adorable. That's cool. What's up, Buki? And so yeah. So I got to, so that was interesting because it just kind of like softened my dad up. That was pretty neat to see. And then, you know, just the stuff that they went through to help those dogs. And then just seeing things that the dogs did, their personalities and how they reacted and, you know, played, just really shed a lot of light on other animals and the world in general. Just, I mean, Missy had an affinity for these berries that supposedly get birds intoxicated. And she would just, whenever they were in season, she would just lay under that bush all day, every day, eating these berries. Just chilling, right? Cisco never touched the things. Never. I'm pretty sure Missy was fucking tripping balls or just fucked up. You know? Just doing that shit. I think she licked a frog, or maybe it was Cisco licked one of those river toads.
Oh shit!
And started, you know, I guess he was tripping balls. They were afraid he was gonna get hurt or whatever. He was okay. And then, you know, when Cisco died, it was, oh man! And when we first got him, he had a tick, and he was so small that the tick was sucking him dry, dude. Like he couldn't even like lift his head up, and we were like all freaking out. It was all so sad. And then we found it there, and we took him to the vet, and they saved him, and he's, you know, and he became just like the most energetic. He loved to jump in the pool and swim, and you know, it was just neat to see all that.
Hell yeah.
And then, but then, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's cool.
Fuck yeah, man.
That's cool.
I remember specifically spending a lot of time talking to my dog. Just me and the dog would be in the house and nobody else, and I would just say all my problems and stuff, and she'd kind of sigh at the right moments. It felt like she could hear me.
That's awesome.
Part of me felt like she was thinking, oh, this motherfucker just keeps making this weird noise at me, you know, because she can't understand what I'm saying.
Right.
I might as well be like, bark, 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 bark. You know?
Right.
But at the same time, man, I don't know. I felt a very deep connection with that dog because I spent so much time with her.
Yeah.
It was like she was my therapist in a weird way. She had my back, you know?
Yeah. Fuck. Okay, so I don't know. I don't feel like I've ever had that connection with an animal.
I used her as a pillow often.
Yeah?
Yeah, most dogs can stand, you know, I've met dogs that can stand that for a second or two, but they usually move. Rarely will a dog actually let you, like, fall asleep on them.
Right.
She would let me do that. It was
Dang,
sweet.
she liked you. I mean, like, movies about boys and their dog.
Yeah.
That shit fucking tears me up. Dude, if I think about Old Yeller too long, I'll get teary-eyed. You know what I'm saying?
I've never seen it. I just know the references.
Right. Where the red fern grows. You ever seen that one?
Oh, dude, I think I read the book.
Oh,
like junior high or something.
Oh, dude, both. Sounder. That was a good one. Dude, all of those books, they fucking...
Yeah, well, I mean, the term man's best friend just kind of feels accurate, feels right, because they are the homie. No human could ever love me as much as your dog will. Like, the dog is like super stoked as soon as you get home and always in a good fucking mood, and as soon as like you leave it just wants you to come back. And,
right.
Like, dude, none of your homies like you like that. Like, that dog is your best friend. That's your biggest fan ever.
Dude, yeah. So, okay, so you ever notice that a lot of times when you leave, when you come back to the house, the dog is like waiting for you.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So back to the ESP and morphic resonance
I know
thing.
about this shit, yeah.
So there's some serious experiments done where they have done the dog is not timing your coming home. The dog is sensing somehow you're coming home.
Yeah.
And they can prove this by just picking, running experiments with a certain control, where they come back at the same time all the time, and then, they adjust those times and the dog gets used to those times, whatever, right? But then the experiment that they do is, go out, do something, and just like while you're out there, they flip a coin or whatever, draw a number out of a hat, and that's what time they're going to come home, right? Or, they'll go out, do something, and somebody will randomly give them a call, and that'll be, the decision to come home, right? It's what they determine is that when the decision to come home is made, or like that first action to make that reality takes place, that's when the dog starts to get antsy.
Yeah. Yeah, your best friend fucking knows, bro. He knows when you're coming home.
Dude, yeah, man. Yeah. Dude, that shit is oof. Some dogs like licking toads. I had a friend who had to watch their dog 24/7 during toad season.
Oh my god.
Because he would lick himself to oblivion. That's right.
That is beautiful.
That's right. I would be that kind of a dog. For sure.
Yeah, the dog just figured it out.
Yeah, dude. I wish I had thought of that when I got in trouble for doing drugs in high school. I'd be like, Mom, where did you learn to do this? From the dog, okay? I learned it from Missy.
Well, I think that's a good place to end it on. We learned it from Missy.
Everybody, thanks for hanging out. Check out mxlr.com. See if that's something you're into. Download the app. That way you can check us out on our radio show. You're also still more than welcome to peep us on the Instagram. But it would definitely help us out if you could get that radio going for you. Because we're going to be running some contests and things like that will only be available to the radio listeners. We want you guys to have, advantage there. So, thanks for hanging out. You guys are totally awesome. And we'll see you next week. No doubt.
Much love.
Peace.
Oh wait, that didn't exit it out. Maybe it did. End.